All right. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, aka Master Teacher 33. And today is Sabbath day, Saturday, April the 25th. Wow, 25th. April the 15th. I don't know why I said the 25th. April the 15th, 2017, and the time, you guys know the time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. My brothers and my sisters, wanted to drop another nugget in your lap. I had some time, had an opportunity. Schedule actually cleared up where I could do another show. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get comfortable here. So, hey, you guys know that I love what I do. So today we want to talk about that, being in love with what you do. But specifically, we want to break down something that's really important for you. And the reason why this is so important is because most of us, when we think about our lives and what we're doing and moving forward, our goals, destiny, dreams, and all of that good stuff, we talked about earlier today how to live with success. Most of us don't, because we haven't experienced success, that when success shows up, we don't know how to live with success, because success is a process, it's not a destination. So I talked about that today. So now I want to talk about the inner qualities that make that destination possible. Today I want to talk about how to live or how to love your thoughts. We want to talk about how to really be happy with what you are thinking. Now, this is very important because your thoughts, let me put everybody on mute real quick. So if your thoughts becomes your things, you have to be happy with your thoughts. Now, how can you be happy with your thoughts when your current situation is a situation of unhappiness? This is the predicament that most people find themselves in. This is the issue or the problem that I'm concerned with for you and for everybody else that's listening to this show today, is that most people don't understand what I'm saying when I talk about this ideal. And that ideal is the fact that right now, as I'm speaking to you, what you are thinking is more important than what you're hearing. So your inner dialogue, your inner thinking, your inner thoughts are way more important. So it's important that we be happy with what we have while working on what we want. Be happy with what you have while working on what you want. Be happy with what you have while working on what you want. Now, I can sit here and I can say that, but if you don't got nothing, how are you supposed to be happy when you don't got nothing? Well, the goal that I found out that works like cuckoo clocks is that there is an art to manifestation. Now, this is a great idea, how to manifest something that you want in 24 hours. Now, I want to talk about the mindset of manifestation. So I've been talking about that because I've been doing this, and I just did it last week. I'm going to do it this week, and that is creating something and manifesting it within 24 hours, whether it's a certain amount of money, whether it's a book, whether it's a particular project. After I get off tonight's show, I got a goal that to finish this Dear Canary report tonight, and then start another one. So how do I manifest that within 24 hours or less? So your thoughts determine what you manifest in your life. And most people are so stuck on the reality of their life, they can't get past to actually focus on the thoughts of their life. So most people live in the reality of their life, so therefore they can't function in the thoughts of their life. So I highly recommend, brothers and sisters, that you start to understand this process of choosing what you want by choosing what you think. Your thoughts determine what manifests in your life. So now you have to love your thoughts, not your reality. Man, let me say that again. So let's say, worst case scenario, your reality really, really stinks right now. Okay, fall in love with your thoughts. You remember when you was a kid? Now, I didn't really think about this until later on when I grew up, and I realized that, man, my childhood was so rough that I was forced to live in a dream world. Now I get to teach people what I learned in a negative environment. I'm making money to teach people to live above their means, to live with peak performance. I get paid to do that. I drink some distilled water. Now I get paid to teach people to live with their inner voice and their imagination. So when I was hungry at night as a kid and I couldn't go to bed because my back and my stomach was in the same place, I had to go into my imagination in order to get out of my reality. So now my imagination is more powerful than my reality. So in my reality, there could be something negative going on. But in my imagination, there is something positive going on. So I can use the thing that's going on in my imagination to actually bring about the results that I want in my life. Now, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you really understand what that means. That means that my imagination overrides my reality. So my imagination is more powerful than my reality. Now, if you can wrap your brain around what I just said, it'll change your entire life, because now you can do the same thing. You can use the power of your imagination. You can use the power of your inner talk, the inner dialogue, the mind chatter, and that plus intensity, the ability to, again, love your thoughts. So my reality is whack, but my thoughts, I choose that. So in my brain, I'm a multi-millionaire. In my brain, I look like that picture I posted on Facebook of my boy that was an 80-year-old vegan bodybuilder just recently died, or like the Canadian bodybuilder by the name of Albert Beckles back in the day. Google that name, man. Look how that dude looked at 80 years old. In my brain, when I'm 80 years old, that's how I'm going to look. In my brain, I am super healthy. In my brain, I'm a multi-millionaire with private jets. In my brain, I am all-knowing and all-powerful. I have a relationship with the big G, and I have a clear connection, mano a mano. We communicate with mental telepathy. He knows my thoughts. I know his thoughts. I'm an extension of him. I'm establishing and I'm allowing my vessel to be used. In my mind, I have a great loving relationship with every person on the planet. Now, they may not have a loving relationship with me. They may not like me. They may be angry at me. But in my mind, I don't have no enemies. In my mind, I love everybody. In my mind, every woman is a queen. In my mind, I've never seen a ugly female. In my mind, I see beauty everywhere. In my mind, I see abundance everywhere. In my mind, I see prosperity everywhere. In my mind, I see health, wealth, wisdom, and I see loving and compassion. In my mind, I don't see what's going on. So my imagination, my inner dialogue overrides my reality. I choose that. Number one, we're going to go over these 5 steps by which, again, you can fall in love with your thoughts. These 5 steps, if you can wrap your brain around this, these 5 steps, I learned this when I worked inside of the Supermax prison. It revalidated it for me because I was taught it when I was a child. But I was taught it in a negative environment, so I didn't value it until I became an adult. What was I taught? As a child, I was taught that when I was hungry and after I just got beaten with that metal pipe and we was forced to walk around in circles and we suffered from sleep deprivation. So when I was a member of this cult, for lack of a better term, I had to find a way to go in my mind to keep from freaking going crazy, because I couldn't wrap my brain around what was happening to me when I was 5, when I was 6, when I was 7. My mom died when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I went from one hell to another hell. And I couldn't wrap my brain around it, so I was forced to live in my imagination. Now, that is my greatest asset. So I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what goes around me. I can block it out and I can live in my brain. My inner dialogue is more important and more powerful than what any Reverend Dr. Bishop or any slewfoot, slewy, Louis, slackback, jellyback preacher can say. There is nothing you or anybody else can say to me that will affect me unless I want it to and unless I allow it to. So number one, I choose what I really want. I choose how it will benefit me. I choose when I think about this. I choose how I feel about this. I choose how I am going to allow and if I am going to allow what you say to me to affect me. I don't allow everybody to speak into my life. You can say anything that you want to me, and I choose whether it affects me or not. There are a plethora of people who allow things that are said to them to affect them. I don't understand why you would do that. That is not how you become a successful creator. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm not talking about theory. I, unfortunately, had this beat into me when I was a child. But I am thankful for my adversity. Every night I thank God for my hard times. I thank God for the way that I was raised. Because right now, as I'm talking to you, what I'm saying, you may not believe. It is very hard to believe. People tell me all the time, Brother Will, I don't believe that. I don't believe that you can be happy with what you have when you don't have nothing, while you are working for what you want. I don't believe you can be happy with what you have while working for what you want. Now, brothers, I'm going to tell you universal law. The attitude of gratitude. You cannot graduate. God is not going to promote you. The universe does not respond to negativity. So if you are not happy right where you are right now, you cannot go forward. Let me explain something to you, brothers and sisters, that I learned at the age of 6, 7, and 8 years old. And I don't know how to tell it to you except straight. You have to love your life. You with somebody and they beat the out of you every day. You got to love it. Now, let me explain. Because I don't know if you can wrap your brain around this. That's why you're not moving forward. Destination addiction says, I'm addicted to change. Destination addiction says that my reality is more powerful than my spirituality. Now, God says that what is seen was made out of shiznits that cannot be seen. Hebrews 11:3. God said, the Creator, not no dumbed down, watered down demon, said that He honors His word above His own name. He said that in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So words, last I checked, now I'm speaking words. Can anybody see what I'm speaking? If you can see my words, please call me now. I will stop the show, I will bring you on, and I will let you explain to me how the hell you can see my words. My words are producing images in your brain, but when my words come out of my mouth, you cannot see how my words is changing the molecular structure in the air. I ain't met a soul on the planet. I've heard people say they can, but they ain't got no freaking proof. So I know that nobody can see how the invisible realm creates the visible realm. Thoughts are things. Now, your brain can't comprehend it. My brain, let me speak for myself. My brain can't comprehend it. But if you don't understand this, brothers, if you don't understand this, sisters, if you don't understand that when you change your thoughts, you change your world. So right now, you think where you are at is bad. So thoughts bring more thoughts of that same frequency. So when I was getting beat when I was a kid, when I was getting starved when I was a kid, I would imagine myself eating a steak. I remember when I was 6 years old, and we were singing this song. Me and my sister was talking about it earlier today. And we was reminding ourselves how we got through our childhood. And there was this song that we used to sing every night, because I don't know if you know how it feels to go to bed or to be a child and go without food for weeks at a time. After that third or fourth day is not too bad, but those first 3 days of not going with no food, just drinking water when you're a kid is rough. And so if you cannot go into your imagination and change your reality, if you can't do that, brothers and sisters, then you can't go forward, because you are doing something that you can't do. You got to be happy with what you have while working for what you want. The universe only responds to gratitude. God only responds to an attitude of gratitude. God doesn't respond to people who are angry because of their situation. Says, you got it right now. I know what you're thinking. You say, Brother Will, you don't understand my situation. I have a right to be pissed off at God. You don't understand, brother, what I've been through. Okay? All I'm simply saying, if you pissed off, you get more pissed off. In other words, whatever you got going on in your life, you're getting more of it. Thinking is planning. Let me say that again. Whatever you are thinking, that's what you're planning. So let me ask you again, what are you thinking? Whatever you are thinking, that's what you're planning. Whatever you are worrying about, that's what you are thinking about. So all emotions are plans. Oh man, let me say that again. All emotions are plans. Let me say that again. All, especially the negative ones, are plans. So whatever you are thinking about, that's what you're planning about. Thinking is planning. So when I'm thinking, what I'm doing is I'm ordering. The way that you order, now when you go to a restaurant and you place an order, you do it with your mouth. But when you go to God and you place an order, you do it with your inner thoughts. The unconscious ones, not the conscious ones. Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is what's going to manifest in your life. So if you are in a situation right now that is bad, so you are thinking that this situation is bad, because in reality it is bad, you're going to get more bad. So you got to be able to live to have a bad reality while maintaining good thoughts. Whoa! Let me say that again, because this is how I climbed out of the hole. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I don't know what everybody else is teaching. But my brothers and sisters, all I know is if you don't have an attitude of gratitude, your attitude determines your altitude, how high you go. So you have a justifiable, this is the problem, as I talked about before when I talked about your negative habit pattern. See, negative habit patterns are there because there is proof and there is evidence to support them. The devil never comes to you with a lie. He always comes to you with 90% truth and 10% lie. The devil lies by omission. He comes to you and he leaves out certain facts, but he's not lying. You ask him, like kid, you ask the child, hey, did you go to the store? Yes, I went to the store. But you didn't ask, what did you do while you was at the store? Therefore, the child is not lying. So if I could say, son, did you go to the store? Yeah, Dad, I went to the store. If I didn't ask him, what did you do at the store? Specifically, he going to say, well, I went to the store and I walked around and then I walked out. Then if I don't say, did you steal something? Did you take something off the shelf, put it inside of your pocket, walk out the door without paying for it? If I don't say that, then he's not lying. Now, I learned this in a supermax prison where the inmates said, They didn't ask, so I didn't tell. They asked the inmate, did you kill Jim Bob? Yes, I did. So they take that inmate to trial for killing Jim Bob. They never asked him, did he kill Sue, Harry, Jeff, and Bob? They just asked him about Jim Bob. Well, he killed a bunch of other people too, but you didn't ask him about that. So is he lying? No, he ain't lying. He's just leaving out the truth. It's called lying by omission, but it's not lying. And so the universe is a specific universe. As I've told you guys before, I got proof. I'm living it right now. I wrote down exactly everything that I wanted, and it manifested in the form of my wife, except for the two things that I didn't write down: age and children. I didn't write nothing down about the age of my when I was single, and I said, this is the woman I want. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I still got that paper. And I prove it to people because I pull it out and I show them how powerful you are, but you don't know. And so while I was single, in my brain, I was married. I don't know if y'all understand. This is not no freaking game. You're not in Kansas anymore. It's important that you understand, brothers and sisters, that you're sitting here and you complaining about your situation and you are creating more negative situations because your thoughts, you're not in love with your thoughts. I'm in love with my thoughts because in my head, I'm in a private jet. In my head, I'm sipping pina coladas on the freaking beach. In my head, I'm in Dubai. I'm in freaking the Bahamas. In my head, I'm a multi-millionaire. In my head, I'm standing in front of a crowd of 100,000 people giving this talk right now. In my head, I'm changing the lives of people around the globe. In my head, my business is automated. I just wake up every day and I just check my bank account and I just count the thousands and thousands of dollars that's coming into that's inside my bank account. In my head, I've sold a $1,000 product to 1,000 people. That equals $1 million, and I do that every year. In my head, I don't care about my reality because my imagination and my inner dialogue with myself and my intensity for my thoughts is more important than my current reality. You too busy focusing on your current reality. I don't give a flying beep what the hell is going on in your life right now. What's going on in your head? What's going on in your head, brother? What's going on in your head, sister? What is the inner dialogue? What is your mind saying to you as I'm speaking? Now, I'm a little animated, as you can see. That's just me because I'm in love with what I do. Most people are not. So you are going to see me do more of this and less of everything else. Why? This is what I love. So in the process of doing what I love, I find and I come in contact with people who love what I do. It is only in this space that I can connect with true, authentic people. If I meet somebody while I'm not in this space, I am not meeting someone that is a connection, meaning someone that is on the same frequency as me. So if me and you did not meet in the course of me doing one of my shows, or if you did not meet me from listening to one of my shows, if you did not meet me from reading one of my books, if you did not meet me because of my posts on Facebook, then we're probably not a yoke. We're probably unequally yoked. But if you met me in the course of me doing what I love, then me and you are soulmates. We are bonded by frequency. We're not bonded by religion. So your thoughts, my brother, and your thoughts, my sister, you have to love. You have to love your thoughts because your thoughts create your reality. So right now you're focusing on your reality and you're not focusing on your thoughts. Your thoughts are more powerful than your reality. Let me say that again. Your current thoughts are more powerful than your present reality. Because your thoughts are changing your reality as we speak. So what consumes your mind controls your life. So it's very important that you focus on what consumes your mind. So number one, or the first thing is, when I think, I love what I think. If you have a thought that you don't love, the Bible says get rid of it. Now the Bible says bring all thoughts into captivity and see if they are of God. The Bible says God is love. So if you have a thought and that thought is not of love, get rid of it. Because that thought is going to bring things into your life that's not of love. That's why you're in the current situation that you're in. So to change your current reality, we're talking about how to manifest stuff in your life in 24 hours or less. 24 hours. Number one, only put thoughts in your brain that you love. Number two, get rid of things that stand in your way. Get rid of negative beliefs, mindset, which is what we've been working on, core imprints. Get rid of it. You have to keep your eyes, again, on the thoughts of love. Get rid of toxic people and get rid of toxic timing. That means that everything that you want to happen will happen. Sometimes you need patience. Toxic timing, just like toxic people and toxic beliefs, says if God don't do it by this time, I'm going to stop maintaining my attitude of gratitude and I'm going to be pissed off. And because that thought of anger sips in, that violates number one. What is step number one? Choose to think thoughts of gratitude only. So step number one leads to step number two. Step number one says that I am going to think about things that make me feel love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. So that means step number two, I'm going to get rid of toxic thinking. I'm going to get rid of toxic people. And I'm going to get rid of toxic timing. I'm going to get rid of toxic people. I'm going to get rid of toxic thinking. And I'm going to get rid of toxic timing. And I'm going to focus on number three. Number three, I am going to visualize what I want to manifest. Now, this is how you fall in love with your thoughts. You fall in love with your thoughts by maintaining thoughts of love. Now, how do I maintain thoughts of love? Well, I get rid of any thoughts that are not of love. I get rid of negative belief systems. I get rid of negative people. And I don't allow myself to have a negative reaction when things don't happen by 6 o'clock or by 7 o'clock or whatever time I think they should happen. I'm going to continue to visualize. I'm going to maintain my imagination on the thing that I want to manifest. I am going to continue to focus on what I want to manifest, what I want to bring into my life. I'm going to continue to focus on that end game while I'm attached to number four, which is action. Number four is I'm going to spend all my time doing the things that I love that's similar to the thoughts that I love. So I got thoughts of love. So I'm hanging around a life-sustaining pattern of love. I'm only hanging around with people I love. And I'm operating in an environment or a time schedule that I love. And now I have a mental picture of the goal that I love. And now I'm going to start doing things like I'm doing right now. I'm doing a show because I got a mental picture of me speaking in front of 100,000 people. And that mental image shows that there's 100,000 people, and each one of those 100,000 people paid me X amount of dollars. So I got that image in my head. So now that leads me to number five. I'm going to recognize and I'm going to appreciate. That goes back to the attitude of gratitude. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that even though all of this is taking place in my head, and in reality, I'm not speaking in front of 100,000 people. I'm sitting here in my office/closet, and I'm talking to a computer and a phone to a small group of people in reality. But in my head, man, in my head, I'm feeling like I'm in front of 100,000 people. I'm in a sold-out, packed-out auditorium. And in my head, I have the attitude of gratitude. I am so thankful. I am full of appreciation because I'm feeling like, what would it feel like to be standing in front of 100,000 people giving this lecture, giving this class, giving this speech, giving this talk? It would feel good because I'm going to be changing the lives of 100,000 people. I can visualize my desired outcome, my end result. That, my brothers and sisters, is the over and understanding of Clarinomics, which is the whole purpose of the entire group session that we've been doing, which is what we talked about earlier today, which is how to learn how to live with success. It's a process. It's not a destination. So now I'm happy with what I have while I'm thinking about what I want. I'm happy because I'm not focused on what I have. I'm happy because I'm focused on what I'm thinking. So my thoughts override my reality. I control my thoughts. The Reverend Dr. Bishop doesn't control my thoughts. The government, although they are trying like hell to control my thoughts. My children, the dog, the cat, the neighbor, everybody is trying to control my thoughts. But at the end of the day, if it is to be, it is up to me. No one gets into my head unless I let them. I choose my thoughts, and I choose thoughts of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control. Why? Against such things, there is no law. So we are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is focused on love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control, that follows, that draws, that attracts that. Your mind is the control tower. You are the controller. It's like a video game. So you are the controller. The mind is the video game. Your thoughts allow your emotions to flow through into the video game and control the character inside of the game. It's very important, my brothers and sisters, that you activate and that you connect the circuitry of the brain. You control your thoughts. You decide what you're going to think about, and you decide what images are going to manifest in your head, and you decide what you're going to concentrate on. You are in charge of your life. You have to take total control and take total charge of your thoughts, because your thoughts produce the things that manifest in the life. Now, what you're telling me is, well, Brother Will, you don't understand my current reality. Man, trust me. Well, don't trust me. But I've been there where you are at. But I was there when I was 8. And it was a lot harder when I was a kid. Now, being able to step into my imagination was a little easier. But being able to affect my outcome as a child, I was at the mercy of the adults that was inside of my life. So if I had not learned how to control my thoughts, I would never learn how to control my behavior. So I learned at a young age how to control my thoughts and how to live in my imagination. And it was that boot camp that allowed me to become what I'm going to be talking about later on, a master of my thoughts, a master of my words. What you think is more important than what you have. Your thoughts, your imagination is more important than your reality. Let me say that again. As I bring this message to a close, I want to try to keep it to about 30 minutes. This was an unscheduled meeting. I am in love with my thoughts. I am in love with my life. I am in love with what I do. For the first time in a long time, I am more in love with my dream world than I am in love with the real world. Now, that is a very dangerous statement if you understand what I just said. So let me make sure you understand and you are clear, crystal. Because according to the metaphysics of marketing, metaphysical marketing is based upon clarity of thought, singularity. Because that manifests in your life. Watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. Watch your character because your character becomes your destiny or your diakonia. So if my diakonia, my destiny, and my thoughts are not the same, then I have to live in my thoughts so I can produce my destiny. Most of you are living in your destiny, and that is producing your thoughts. But where you are right now, is that your destiny, brother? Is that your destiny, sister? No, it is not. I have on my screen the submarine analogy. The submarine analogy is this. A submarine, like an iceberg, you can only see the top part of the submarine. That's why it's called submarine. So underneath the sub is below the marine, meaning that your thoughts go under, and it controls your feelings, which controls your behaviors, which controls your habits, which controls your personality, which manifests in your future. But see, we live in our life and our reality, and what you're telling me, well, hey, Brother Will, based upon the reality, and this is facts, I don't have no money, man. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money in reality. In reality, I'm overweight. In reality, I don't know the true Messiah. I know some people say his name is Yahushua. Some people say his name is Jesus. Some people say his name is Yeshua. Some people say his name is Buddha. Some people say his name is Mohammed. Some people say his name is Hare Krishna. Some people say his name is Sabato. Some people say his name is Yabato. Some people say his name is, man, I don't know how many, what other name? Zoroaster. There's all of these different things when it comes to wisdom. Then you're telling me in reality my relationship is not that great, Brother Will. So I'm going to tell you to do what I've done. Step outside of the reality and live in your mentality. Fall in love with your mentality. Now you should be telling me, well, Brother Will, why in the hell would I do that, man? Why would I? I'm not a kid. I'm not going to live in my imagination. I'm not going to live in the dream world. I'm not going to walk around and talking to my little imaginary friends like I'm 2 years old. If you don't, brother, if you don't, sister, you'll never change your reality. He who controls his own thoughts controls his own destiny. He who controls his own thoughts controls his own destiny. Thoughts create your reality, brother. Your reality didn't create itself. The reality is the result. So if you don't learn how to control your thoughts, you will never learn how to control your reality. I need to make sure that you understand, my brothers and sisters, when you change your thoughts, you change your life. So when you change your thoughts about wealth, you change the amount of money that you have in your pocket. When you change your thoughts about health, you change the amount of health you have in your body. When you change your thoughts about wisdom, you change your relationship with your God. When you change your thoughts about your relationship, you change your marriage, or you change your relationship with your spouse or your significant other. Brothers and sisters, love your thoughts, because your thoughts becomes things. Fall in love with your thoughts. Love your thoughts more than your reality. Now that's hard. Trust me. Everybody want to live in their reality. Well, I live in my imagination. I live in my thoughts because that changes my reality. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your diakonia, and it becomes your destiny. My brothers and my sisters, your attitude of gratitude determines your altitude. The 5 steps to manifest anything you want in your life in 24 hours. 24 hours. You can change your life in 24 hours. Number 1, take control of your thoughts. Only put thoughts in your brain that you love. Period. That's the whole subject. Only put thoughts in your brain that you love. Never put a thought in your head that you don't love. Number 1, put thoughts in your head that want. Choose thoughts of love. Number 2, get rid of thoughts that stand in your way. Number 2, get rid of 3 things. If I choose to thoughts of love, how can I have thoughts of unlove? I can't. I can't hold 2 opposite opinions. That's called cognitive dissonance. So if I'm going to choose a thought of love, that means I'm unchoosing thoughts of hate. So if I'm choosing a thought of love, that means I am disconnecting from the thought or the mindset of unbelief. That means I'm disconnecting. So after I choose thoughts of love, I want to choose people I love. So I'm disconnecting from toxic people. And then I'm going to choose the time that I'm loved. I'm disconnecting from toxic time. So no toxic beliefs, no toxic people, no toxic time. Number 2. By choosing number 1, I activate number 2, which then activates number 3. There has to be a mental image in my brain of the thought that I've chosen. I've chosen a thought to be a millionaire this time next year. So if I choose that thought, now there is a toxic belief that says, Brother Will, how in the hell are you going to get 1,000 people to give you $1,000? Well, I got a different plan. I've chosen, I'm going to get 200 people to give me $5,000. So there's a belief system. There's a thought. And as soon as I choose that, because I love that, so I got that thought, and then a negative thought comes up and says, how are you going to do that, Brother Will? And then a negative person will come up and say, hey, you can't do that. And then a negative time says, hey, you can't do that in 1 year, brother. You can't get 200 people to give you $5,000 in 12 months. So what do? I forget that thought, and I focus on the other thought. What's the other thought? The other thought is I have a plan of how I'm going to produce a product, service, or information that is way more valuable than $5,000. So I'm going to give people $10,000 worth of benefits in exchange for $5,000 worth of paper. So I focus all of my attention on that thought, and that overrides toxic thinking, toxic people, and toxic timing. And now I got a vision in my head. I got an image in my head that shows me counting my $1 million, going to the bank, sipping pina coladas on the beach, taking my wife and my children shopping. I'm visualizing my success. Number 3. Now that vision empowers me to do number 4, take action. What action? I am doing things that's going to draw the 200 people into my life, and I'm talking about benefits so they can see that, hey, Brother Will knows what they're talking about. You know what? I'm gonna join Brother Will's program. I'm gonna come up with that $5,000 because I want to be a part of what Brother Will is doing. Because why? I got inner talking, I got a inner image, and I got enthusiasm, and I'm taking action. Number 4. Take action. That's attached to the role, which leads me to number 5, the attitude of gratitude. So I recognize and I appreciate, and then after I get to number 5, I go back to number 1. What's number 1? I got a thought. What's the thought? I got 200 people that's giving me $5,000. That's the thought. I love that thought. I got a thought that says I'm going to go to the gym and exercise. I love that thought. I love the thought of eating healthy. I love the thought of having a good relationship. I love the thought of being in a relationship with my father. So those are all good thoughts. Now those good thoughts bring up negative feelings, and I override those negative feelings, those negative people, the negative timing with an image of me standing before 100,000 people. I got an image of me taking that $5,000 from those 200 people. I got an image of me driving my convertible Corvette. I got an image of me sipping pina coladas in the Bahamas. I got an image of me going to Connecticut and hanging out with my peeps in Connecticut, freaking going to New Jersey, going to New York, going to Chicago, going to Philly, doing seminars. I got images in my head standing in front of people, maximizing and benefiting and sharing this word that I'm sharing with you that's going to benefit others more than it benefits me. I got that image in my head, and that image makes me do more shows. That's why I did a show today that's not even scheduled. I've done 2 shows today that I wasn't even supposed to do. Why? I got an image in my head, brother, and there's some talking going on that says, Brother Will, take action. So I'm taking action. I'm getting ready to get off this show, and I'm getting ready to start working on my Dear Canary reports that people have ordered. That's action. And now that takes me to number 5 again. I feel good because I got a thought. That thought brings up something that says you can't do it. I override that toxic feeling with an image and with that thought. And it makes me take action that produces a result, that makes me feel good, that takes me back to the thought, that bring up more negative feelings. And I override that with an image that, again, makes me take action, that makes me feel good, that takes me back to that thought. That thought gets bigger and bigger every day. The negative feelings rise up every day. And I override those negative feelings that say, you can't do this, Brother Will. I override it with an image of me doing it, and I got facts because I've taken action. Those actions produce results, and those results make me feel. What does it make me feel? It makes me feel successful. It makes me have an attitude of gratitude because I took action. But the way that I took action was because I'm not focused on my reality. I'm not focused on toxic people. I'm not focused on toxic timing. I'm not focusing on my toxic belief. I'm focusing on my positive thoughts that I love, and my positive image that I love, and my positive action that I love, and the positive gratitude that I love. So I got 4 positives that override the 1 negative. So do you have that in your life? If not, you will not be able to manifest what you want in your life. Brothers and sisters, as you guys know, I can go all day, but I know y'all got families and y'all got stuff to do, and I got to knock out these Dear Canary reports. I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. Again, if you're not part of the Claronomics Temple Building Program, we got monthly payment plans available that's affordable. I don't care what your budget is. You cannot afford not to be a part of this program. This is $10,000 worth of information that I'm only charging $5,000 for. Again, you get a copy of 25 books. It's a 1-year program, counseling with me one-on-one once a week for the people that want it. Some people don't need it. One-on-one once a week for 1 hour. That comes with the program for an entire year. You have access to everything that I do for an entire year. I guarantee you that this program works. Again, be a part of the 200 people that's going to take me to where I want to go. And then we're going to help you establish your dream and your purpose so we can take you where you want to go. More importantly, where God has designed and gifted you to go. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you. His name is Yahuwah. May His Son bless you. His name is Yahushua. May the Ruach, the set of part 1, continue to lead you and guide you into all truth, because He will never, ever, ever manipulate or control you. And as always, my brothers, as always, my sisters, I will see you in eternity. God bless you.